Tittiesntoos.
Hi, welcome to Tittiesntoos today, and today we have got the question, which is violence, and our answer is yes. No, I'm just joking. But today we are going to be looking at a little bit more controversial type of vibe that we get with women.
Yeah, it's something that unfortunately still happens. I feel like it shouldn't be happening anymore at all. It doesn't happen too often, but every now and again we have a case like this. And yeah, to be honest, it's just breaking my heart. I feel like it shouldn't be happening anymore. And yeah, I want to talk about it.
That's why I said violence.
So the problem at hand is that we do get women who want to get tattooed, but for some reason their partners do not agree or don't want to allow them to get tattoos. So they'll say stuff like, no, I have to get my husband's permission, or my husband said I could get one tattoo and only one. And I guess I just want to talk about it and have a bit of a rant about it too.
No, but not even just, I mean, yes, 100% we've got that with women happening. But I think in the community of people getting tattoos, it is happening more often than what we think.
Yeah.
Somebody is saying, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Or like you said, you can only have one.
Yeah.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
You understand it's addictive, right? Like one is not going to do the trick here. But the main idea about somebody else having a say over your body.
Yeah. Or a sense of control. They for some reason feel like they have control over your body. And that's not cool.
It's just,
my mind.
It's baffling.
Yeah.
Like, I'm flabbergasted at thinking of the concept of somebody looking at me and making a choice on my behalf for my body.
Yeah.
You're not my doctor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in hospital. This is not a life or death situation.
Yeah.
This is an actual choice that I've got of something that I want to do.
Yeah. Okay, and I think, I'm speaking specifically to the experience what we've had with married couples. Obviously, this subject does, it happens with all bunch of different types of relationships. But it's just scary. I get the sense that some people feel like just because they're in some sort of agreement with someone or some sort of a partnership with someone, and then they feel like they can control you in some way. And I think what's more scary to me is that, luckily we do get a lot of women who are just like, well, that's too bad for him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like it, so what?
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. I think realizing that society still, some people in society still sort of follow that rule where you have to, what's the word for honor? Like you have to
Submit.
to your partner. And it's just scary to see that it does still happen. And I just wish people could get out of that way of thinking.
I just don't. I think a lot of us are looking at this and thinking, no, I wouldn't, because I think we are at a point in our own personal journeys where we are very comfortable with what we like and what we don't like, and putting up our boundaries and things like that. But to just think about the concept of somebody having to have that fear of, I asked permission, this person didn't like it, but I'm going, but, now I kind of have to give a minute-by-minute update of what's going on. And then the person maybe gets the tattoo, and then the partner doesn't like it.
Yeah. What happens there?
That must be so horrific.
And
to have to constantly overthink about something like that.
Yeah. Especially something that's supposed to be literally just a happy situation.
And celebrating your body.
Yeah, it's something you do for yourself. It's something so beautiful. It's a bold step into becoming yourself. And then you have to worry. Then you have this sort of worry in the back of your mind about it.
And it just feels to me like it's also, obviously it's not something that you can hide, really. Yes, you can, but, somewhere along the line, somebody's going to see it.
Yeah.
And it's such a tragedy. I'm saying this, and I can say this because I did it. I hid my tattoos. It's such a tragedy that you have to do it.
Yeah.
Because it is something so beautiful to have out there and to be okay with what you have.
Yeah.
You know? How much more now in a relationship where somebody is dictating what you are allowed to do and not allowed to do.
Yeah, where
And I just somehow wish we can take a bag full of water balloons, throw people, freeze them, throw people with just I need people to understand that we are no longer living in the flippin' 1300s.
Yeah.
We are not going to be burned by the stake.
Yeah.
We have got a voice.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, this is not just for women.
Yeah.
Like each person individually, you've got a voice.
Yeah.
And don't lose that voice because somebody else is dictating you to.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is, I think, probably one of the biggest tragedies in life.
Yeah.
If I had to think of something.
Yeah, I think that's sort of, well, to me, I feel like that's one of the worst types of abuse that you can do to someone is to make them hide themselves. Or to put them in a position where they feel like they can't be themselves. You're making them smaller. And that, breaks my heart. I feel like you shouldn't, But I mean, it's complicated. Relationships are complicated.
100%. No, 100%. I mean, there's tons of variables.
Yeah.
Tons of variables that goes on here. I mean, we had the discussion earlier when we were looking at, this could happen or this could be happened in the past. And there's so many things that could shape something. But I think in any type of relationship, communication is key.
Yeah.
And if the communication is lost or broken or, just not there, then it takes away from ultimately what it could be.
Yeah.
And it creates that situation where people are fearful or trying to hide, trying to just not be seen at all.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Yeah. I had a client a little while ago, and she came to me with, she said she's only going to get one tattoo. So it was quite small, and it was also so she could hide it for her work, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, then she came back.
Love that for you. That's that.
Yeah. So then we added more stuff around her shoulder. But anyway, the conversation we ended up having was just, she said, life is too short. It's too short to hide yourself. It's too short to wait until then or until that. Oh, and I think it was memorial tattoos. But some of the people, or I guess it's not a memorial then. People haven't passed away yet. So it's just for someone they love. And then she said, she's not going to wait until they pass away to do something for them. Life's too short. And I just felt like that was such a beautiful moment for me to realize, like, yes, this woman decided or realized, like, if she wants to do it, she's going to do it. Life is too short, and life is too short.
It is.
Just, get the tattoo. Don't let people stand in your way.
For anybody that is thinking about getting a tattoo, please can you listen to Monica? Life is too short. Get that tattoo. You want it.
It doesn't help you sit, I don't know, in all that home one day and think, like, oh man, I should have gotten that tattoo.
I cannot wait one day. So just picture this. This is going to be me. I'm going to have the short, funky hair, right? All my tattoos are going to be showing. I will make sure of that. As an elderly lady, there will be a blankie somewhere that will cover when I'm cold, but it will be showing, right? And I am going to be there, and if I don't care whose grandchild you are, because I don't have kids, so I don't care whose grandchild you are, you're going to come here and I'm going to tell you about my tattoos, about the days when I was young, when you're going to grow up, you need to learn a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that is ultimately the memories that you have captured
on
in
your
each
body.
one of your tattoos.
Beautiful.
Like sitting there and gaming, and my tattoos. In gaming at 70.
Sounds
going to be
amazing.
fun.
But I think, a lot of people in the old age home just one day, probably everybody's going to have tattoos by then. It's going to be cool. We're going to be cool old people.
That's going to be amazing. Can you imagine all the stories? Like, make a little bonfire in the middle of the hall, all of us sitting there talking. but the stories that you are able to tell, and I think what people sometimes forget about is not just about the story about what it means to you or what, but it's about how you felt. There was something in that moment whether you were going through something, whether you experienced something, but it's how you felt in that moment. And at that moment, you loved that idea.
Yeah.
And yes, it might now, while you are 70, while you are 35, I don't care. You might look at it and say, oh, this or that. You can get a cover-up. You can get a fixer-up, guys. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. It's amazing. But there's so many things that you can do still. But remembering that experience that you had. I mean, everything else is going to go away when we get older.
Yeah.
Why do we want to keep on to negative things? And there's so much beauty that we can hold on to.
Yeah, definitely. Beautiful memories.
Absolutely. So I think that anybody, women specifically, because, I mean, we're women and we want to stand up for them.
Yeah.
But anybody that feels that somebody is controlling, taking away from you, that you don't have to go through that.
Yeah.
You don't have
make
to
your own decisions about your own body.
Correct. You don't have to allow that. You can put in that boundary. And I mean, if that boundary is too much, then that person does not belong in your life.
Yeah.
I know there's hundreds of circumstances that can go around, and I'm really not trying to minimize. Correct. And I'm not trying to minimize anything that anybody's going through. But choose you.
Yeah.
Choose you, because nobody else is going to.
Yeah.
You need to be your biggest supporter in this life.
I think the thing that baffles me as well is the way I understand relationships is you love that person for who they are, their personality, their being. And them getting a tattoo is definitely not going to make a difference to who they are. I think it's just a strange thing that people try and control, where it really doesn't impact the person that you love. You're still going to love that person. You're supposed to still love that person. It doesn't matter what they look like.
See, that is, I think that is when it's not necessarily about loving the person, but more focus on what your body represents about me.
Wow. Yeah.
Because if I see, or if somebody sees that you've got a tattoo, what will that reflect about me as a person?
So how are you going to make me look?
Correct. I mean, come on, can I just slap you now? Like, it's not about you.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you are so worried about your self-image on what that will reflect, please just go buy a blow-up doll. That's it. You can walk around happily. People will still judge you. Go get a brick. Yeah, I'd let this brick identify as a woman that has got no tattoos. Then you will be happy.
Yeah, but you are in a relationship with a person with their own wants and needs and likes and dislikes. Yeah.
That is a human being with their own mind, their own thoughts,
their own lives, their own bodies. Yeah.
So it's not a projection on you.
Yeah.
And if you think it's a projection on you, it sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
Not the us problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just my thinking.
Yeah, there was just our little feminist trends, I guess.
I promise no violence was committed. Even though my words were. But I think share your stories with us. Like if you've experienced something like that, or if you've seen some of your friends.
Or if you've had that moment where you were like, fuck this, I'm getting the
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, share it with us.
It's a beautiful decision to make.
Correct. We love hearing from you guys and seeing what you have to say and all of that. And I think it's so empowering about hearing what you are going through as well. But thank you for coming to our TED Talk on a rant and for joining us on this episode. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.
Titties and toos.